Hey guys, it's Kat again, and today we are going to show you how I achieved this Santa Claus beard. If you have not seen this video where I turned into Santa Claus himself, you can click the first link down in the description box below, and I have a creepy twist of him being ran over by a reindeer instead of it being Grandma this year. It was Santa Claus. So regular Santa, gory Santa. I made this entire beard out of crepe wool. I learned from the best, Fred Blau, who has worked on How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey. He also did The Addams Family, Planet of the Apes, and many, many more awesome blockbuster hits. Owner of Real Creations, which is most of the alcohol paints I use in my videos to make this creepy twisted Santa. So let's get started and show you how I achieve and create my beards. First of all, this is Vincent. Yes, I named my tuffy head that they are called. It's like a dummy head that we make our beards on. If you want to make beards at home, you may need a Vincent. I got this one at the swap meet, and I also have a steamer. If you do not have a steamer, you could also just get a boiling pot of water. Just don't burn yourself and use the steam from that to straighten out all your crepe wool. These are my crepe wool. I have 3 different colors, white, light gray, and a medium gray. I'm using mostly white and light gray for this. Graftobian makes awesome crepe wool. I get also my supplies from Friends Beauty Supply in Hollywood. And you may need some matte adhesive or spirit gum. Some tools like hair cutting scissors and a comb that's not as broken and ratchet as this one. The comb with the rat tail end, so that you could use that as well for creating your beards, and some sort of light hairspray, or this is from Real Creations. This is called Whisker Fixer. I also have some baby powder on hand. This is going to make it so you get all the stickiness off of your beards and your hands when they get sticky from the matte adhesive or spirit gum. Another product we may need for this beard is 99% alcohol. I don't have it shown here, but it is very hard to find. I had to find it in makeup effects stores. It's almost perfume grade rubbing alcohol. You may need a powder brush, and you cannot forget a reference picture. I just have this picture of Santa Claus that I showed in my original Santa Claus video that I used as a reference. And as you see on the left bottom side of Vincent, my little tuffy head that I'm going to do the beard on, I have this dangerous thing called a hackle. I call it the devil's comb. Basically what it is a very sharp comb with needle points that helps you blend and detangle the fake hairs of your beard hairs. So younger audience, please do not try this at home. You have to know how to do something because you could very much injure yourself with this product and many of the things in this video. You may also need a small curling iron. If you do not have this, I understand it's not totally necessary, but it's great to make your beards look realistic. Now it is time to unwind your crepe wool. By unwinding, what I mean is to get it loose. There's some threads in your crepe wool maybe that they use to hold it all together to make it smaller to package it. You may want to take the threads from the packaging out and straighten it all out. Once you have all those threads out, to further straighten it, we are going to put it over our steamer. You need this steam to straighten out your crepe wool. I use crepe wool because it is cheaper, a lot cheaper than real hair. Easier to come by, and I was taught using crepe wool, not real hair. So that's what I use, and it's cheaper for you guys to learn from if you want to do this at home. Again, as you can see, you also may need a tweezer or like a long tongs to hold the end of the crepe wool so you don't burn your hands from the steam. Please, if you're younger and doing this, don't do it. But as you can see, I'm just using this clip or like any type of tweezer or tong you have to get your hand away from the hot steam from burning your hand to straighten out your crepe wool hairs because it comes crinkly and very curly. This took forever. It was the longest process in making beards. This is why my whole makeup took me 8 hours, because just detangling, blending, and combing the hairs in the white and gray beard hairs took me probably 4 hours. And once you have all that detangled, it is time to use that hackle or the devil's comb. First, I try to do 2 sections of white with 1 section of light gray to blend that together, but I thought it was a little too white, so I did 2 parts light gray and 2 parts white to make it have a natural hair tone to blend it through together on the hackle. What you are going to do is drag the ends of it without hurting your hand. Do this very slowly and not too fast. As you can see here, I'm just blending the hairs together to make them mix. And I do this about 2 to 3 times to blend them together. It also detangles them and mixes the colors of hair. Whenever you're doing beards, you want to do at least 3 different colors of hairs. Even if you have a brunette beard, brunettes sometimes have tones of reds, blacks, different shades of browns and chestnuts in the hair, and it's gonna make your beard hair look more realistic, like it's a real human hair growing out of the face. Like I said, this is super dangerous. When I first did beards in makeup school, I was really fast, sloppy because I was just learning, and I pricked myself with this hackle so many times. The sharp needles hit my fingers and I bled everywhere in school. I know that's very graphic. But once you have all those blended, again, like I said, I do this about 2 or 3 times to blend all the colors together and detangle it. And it also separates the big hairs from the smaller hairs. You're gonna notice that there are longer hairs and smaller ones, so I do it into 2 or 3 sections from larger lengths of hair to smaller ones. Because the larger lengths, you're gonna use it on areas like the bottom of the beard, and you could do gradually smaller to where it gets to your mustache. Of course, mustache hairs are shorter than the long beard hairs, and you can use the shorter hairs if you're doing eyebrows as well, like I'm gonna show you in this video. But once you have all those hairs blended together and sectioned off, I'm going to get my matte adhesive and put a layer of that on the bottom of Vincent, my Tuffy head's chin. Now, once that matte adhesive is on there, mine's very dark yellow, which is fine because you won't see it too much when I put it on my face. I'm gonna get the longest pieces of hair and I'm gonna comb it out. Do a small section, comb that out, all of the tangles out, and cut the end. Once you cut that end, you're gonna tap it into the matte adhesive. You don't wanna shove it in there or lay it flat. You're gonna tap the ends of the cut part, straight across part of the hairs, and tap it into the adhesive so it looks like it's naturally growing from the skin. And we're gonna do this in a straight line all at the bottom, and we're gonna do layers, almost like a shingled roof. You wanna do 1 layer at a time. As you see, the first layer on my bottom chin strap was there, and now we're doing another layer of the matte adhesive before getting even more hairs. Again, the same process, combing it through first, a little section, cutting it off, and then tapping it in to my scissors. Now, if you get matte adhesive on your scissors or tools and it's getting very hard to manage the hair on your sticky tools, that is what the baby powder is for. I have a section of baby powder on top of a tissue paper on the side to dip my tools in, or my fingers if they get too sticky with the adhesive. And as you can see, I'm creeping up on the sides of his chin and mouth with the matte adhesive, looking at my reference picture, seeing which layers the hairs go in, and tapping it in to the adhesive, the ends of the hairs. I'm also gonna put a layer on the bottom lip. Make sure you look at where the hair naturally grows on your reference picture. And don't forget that other side. You can even have these go up on sideburns. When I was training with Fred Blau to learn how to do facial hairs, I went above and beyond and I made like mutton chops, sideburns, crazy beards. I did like the Father from Aladdin type of beard. I did crazy styled curled mustaches, and we're gonna do a curled mustache today. So once you're done with the beard area, as you can see, I'm also putting some matte adhesive on the mustache part above the upper lip. I even put some on the top lip of the dummy head because my top of my lip is a little bit more longer than this dummy head's. And with the same process, I'm doing layers of matte adhesive and hairs, but we are grabbing the hairs that are on the smaller side since it is a shorter hair area on the mustache than the beard. Beards have longer hairs depending on what style of beard we are doing. Of course, the beard we are doing today is very long of a Santa Claus beard. You don't want too much hair to where it's overcrowding and just looks like too much of a bush of hair on the beard and mustache, but you don't want too sparse, somewhere in the middle, because we are going to wait till this dries tomorrow. This is a 2-day process to film, completely dry overnight to brush out some of the extra hairs that didn't stick and that won't look as natural. But once the mustache and beard hairs are in place, we are gonna start putting matte adhesive on the brows to create our brows. Same process, but upside down. We are going to do the first layer of hairs at the very top of the eyebrows and move down, doing layer by layer, using your smallest, shortest pieces of crepe wool fake hairs This is also how I did my Count Olaf eyebrows, and I know they look very bushy and long right now, but we are going to cut them down later. I'd rather have brows be long and then style and cut them down, because if they're too short and too little of hairs, it's harder to add on because you have to wait many hours for this to completely dry before you style any hairs that you lay onto this mannequin head. Moving on to the other brow, I feel like I put a little bit too much adhesive here. It kind of looks like molasses or syrup on his brows. But same process, doing layers, starting off with the top layer and moving downwards. It looks bushy, it reminds me of Scrooge. But once that is all cut on there, I'm gonna get a paper towel and my whisker fixer spray. If you do not have whisker fixer, this is by Real Creations. It's like a hairspray made just for fake facial hairs and beards to style them and make them stay in place without losing any hairs on set when you're putting this onto your clients or whoever you're working on, actor, actress. It also is great for styling. As you can see, this paper towel is going to make it so it doesn't get all over the beard while I'm spraying this mustache, and I'm styling the curling ends of the mustache that curl up just like Santa Claus in my reference picture. These are my favorite type of mustaches to make, honestly, because they're so whimsical. They remind me of the dwarves from Lord of the Rings. That's my dream makeup to do one day. It would take me days to make, but I will do it one day. Now it's time to get our hot tool. That small curling iron we have that's made for beards and facial hair or very tiny curled short length hair. I'm using this to curl and make waves naturally in the beard because most beards aren't grown just straight out. This crepe wool is a little too straight. I know we straightened it from the crimped curly hair, but we want to make our own curls and crimps and waves. So I'm just doing this and lightly curling it into waves to make it look like a natural beard that's laying in curls and growing out and going in and has movement like natural beard hair would have if someone like a male was wearing a beard this long. And once we have the beard curled, we're gonna style it a little bit with a comb, and now we are going to cut the brows down. These brows are so large, I'm just cutting them down shorter, and you could style it with those little tiny combs that have little mascara brushes at the end. And now it's time to clean up, because it's the next day. Take all your products off so we have a clean surface, because there's powder everywhere at this point. But this is the next day when the adhesive is all dried. I let it dry overnight, and I'm going to float off the beard. What this means is we are getting 99% alcohol. This is almost perfume grade rubbing alcohol, and it's going to take that adhesive and loosen it up, leaving the beard stuck together but loosening the adhesive from the mannequin's face. That's why it's called floating. You may want to do this over a trash can. You definitely do, actually, with paper towels holding the head, because you don't want to get too much of this alcohol on your skin. It burns just a little bit. And as you can see, this is where we get the end of that comb to really get under that beard hair and let it flow off with the alcohol. You don't want to pull too much with the comb end of that like rat tail to get it off of the mannequin head to where you rip your beard and ruin all of the detail you've done. You want to use it to loosen it up gradually with a lot of alcohol, enough to really get that adhesive stop from sticking the hairs to the mannequin head. And once you have that beard and mustache area completely off, you want to spray the inside with your light hairspray or my whisker fixer, and float off those eyebrows as well with the same process. Again, do not tug at them too much. Let the alcohol do all the work of removing the adhesive. And spray the inside of those eyebrows as well, just like you did your beard. And we may need some cotton pads with that alcohol just to take off all the stickiness and hairs that may be left over, the residuals from your work, from your tuffy head, so they'll be nice and clean when you want to work on beards on your tuffy mannequin head. Again, Mr. Vincent. And clean off your station as well. Don't leave a messy station. This rubbing alcohol is very disinfectant as well, but you may want to use disinfectant spray too. And with that, we are completely done with our magical Santa's beard and mustache and some brow hairs tutorial on how to make your own facial hair at home with effects makeup. If you're old enough and skilled enough to do it because it's really difficult at first and you can injure yourself. So warning for younger audiences, do not try this at home because there's dangerous, sharp objects in this video. But I love how it turned out. I'm lucky because when I did beard hairs, I learned very quickly and I loved it. It's not for everybody. Not everybody who does makeup effects loves to do this type of work, but I absolutely love it and have a joy of making fake beards. And this is my last video for my Santa Claus series. More Christmas makeup transformations to come. Thank you guys so much for watching. You can follow my social media to see when the newer videos will come out. And of course, all the products I use in this video will be listed down below in the description box. And I love you all. See you soon. Bye.